Hi, welcome back to Book Time with Ryan. I'm Ryan, and I just filmed 20 minutes of this video without hitting record, which means I didn't actually record anything or film anything. I started off by talking about how tired I am, and I didn't realize that I wasn't talking to anybody or recording anything, so it's lost to history. So I'll just do it again. Do it again. I'm tired. My hockey team, the Nashville Predators, have played two games in a row that went to double overtime. They won both of those games, so I'm happy about that, but it's exhausting. My daughter had her fifth birthday party in the last week and a half. Why five? Well, her first birthday party was at school, I think. I think. That sounds right. No, yeah. Her first birthday party was at school. We brought in cupcakes, and her little friends play and are excited about it. Her second birthday was that night. My wife got sick. She was under the weather. We got it checked out. She doesn't have COVID, even though we're both vaccinated. But because she was sick, we didn't have friends or family over, so we had our own little tiny family birthday party that night. And Noelia's our daughter. She said that it was the best birthday she's ever had, which is very sweet and sad because it was not great, not a great birthday party by birthday party standards, but she's a very happy kid, so that was nice. Then we went to my parents' house, and they had a little birthday party for her that weekend, the weekend after her birthday. And then this weekend, we had a birthday party with her best friend from school, the 3-year-olds. So it's not like they're getting together on their own a lot. So this is even more fun because they get to spend time outside of school together. And then yesterday we had a birthday party with my wife's family. So they came over and it's been a lot of cake and a lot of cupcakes and chips and stuff. And she's been very happy. She's gotten a lot. She's a happy kid. But it is long. And for some reason, we think that it's best to give her cupcakes before she goes to sleep. So she goes to sleep much later. What else? Well, this is the book I'm reading right now. Noise. I've already talked about this. Daniel Kahneman won what is basically a Nobel Prize in economics. He also wrote a book that's more well known because it's older and foundational, and that's called Thinking Fast and Slow. This is a new one. Cass Sunstein's another big name. He also co-wrote Nudge with Richard Thaler. Richard Thaler's a behavioral economist. So is Daniel Kahneman. What else did I do? I ordered a book. I ordered a book on Amazon. It was called Powers: The Secret History of Dina Pilgrim. Dina Pilgrim is a character from a comic called Powers by Brian Michael Bendis. Brian Michael Bendis is also the writer for Superman and Batman. He did, I think, the Avengers. He has done Spider-Man. If you've seen Into the Spider-Verse, that movie is based off of his Spider-Man, Michael Morales. And he was an advisor on that movie. I donated some money at the beginning of the pandemic to something, and Seeing Eye Dog charity. And Brian Michael Bendis was going to send me something, but it took a really long time. So he ended up sending me a lot more. He sent me like 15 books, including some of these. These are pretty thick too for comics. These are just the greatest. Like they're adult. They're for adults, but they're not like for adults because they're super inappropriate. They are inappropriate too, but they're adult situations. So, and there is some nudity, I guess, too, but not much. And it's a different kind of art, so it's not really, like, ooh, it's a little more cartoony, but it works well, and I love it. So I bought this book because I've read all the Powers books, and this is one thing that I haven't read of Brian Michael Bendis's. And I ordered it online, The Secret History of Dina Pilgrim. It came a couple days ago. But it wasn't what I ordered. What came was The Secrets of Midwives. The Secrets of Midwives. Not what I was looking for. My wife didn't have a midwife when we had our daughter. I know that midwives probably have lots of secrets. I don't want to read about them. So I returned it, and I found out that you can return Amazon stuff pretty easily. I took it to a Kohl's. I had to fill something out online. Fill something out. I had to click 2 buttons online. And then I went over to Kohl's on Saturday, and I left it with, they have like a little booth at Kohl's, like in the middle of Kohl's, which is the department store for people who don't have a Kohl's. And they took it and refunded me my money, and then I reordered the book, and the right one came today. Today it came. So that is what I will read at some point, not right now. I also got Better Not Perfect, The Realist Guide to Maximum Sustainable Goodness by Max Bozerman. Max Bozerman spoke at a place that I worked. He wrote a book called Blind Spots. Blind Spots introduced to me an experiment called the Invisible Gorilla Experiment. Go ahead and YouTube that for the next minute and a half. So at 7:30, I will stop talking about it. This is going to be a spoiler if you don't want to know about it. The Invisible Gorilla. You can look it up on YouTube. Basically, a bunch of people were walking around. This is the experiment. There's a recording of a lot of people walking together. They're bouncing balls, basketballs. Half the people are wearing white shirts, half the people are wearing black shirts. The experimenters tell the subjects of the experiment to count the number of bounces between, let's say, people with black shirts. So at the end of it, they say, well, how many bounces were there between people with black shirts? And the subject would say, well, there's 15. I counted 15. Say, was there anything else that you saw or that you missed, that you saw that was interesting? And 50% of people that watched the video, the same video, would say no, and 50% would say yes. And what were the people that said yes to? In the middle of the video, there's a gorilla that walks through the people bouncing balls, and it thumps its chest and then continues to walk. It's very obvious once you know it's there. Basically, this is showing illusions. Some people, 50% of people don't see certain things. And the reason I use that is my neighborhood is fighting a Sheetz gas station trying to move in. And I was doing research on blindness, especially to children running around in the neighborhood. And I wanted to see if there was any kind of evidence for people leaving a gas station and not looking for kids, missing them and hitting them. And that's basically what this book talked about. I exchanged emails with the authors. It's a New York Times bestseller. And they responded. They were very cool about it. They also recommended another book called Traffic for the purposes I was using it for. But a really interesting book. Anyway, Max Bozerman talks about that in Blind Spots. And this is Max Bozerman's relatively new book that came out last year. Better Not Perfect. I really like it. It was very interesting when he came and spoke at my work. And I enjoyed Blind Spots, so I will read that at some point. I've already read The Invisible Gorilla. Really enjoyed that. Check it out if you haven't already. And if you didn't listen to the explanation of what the experiment was on YouTube after you've watched this video and subscribed to my video, look up on YouTube Invisible Gorilla Experiment. Kind of tells you what it's about, but it's cool. Today, while I was waiting for sushi, I went by our local secondhand bookstore and bought this, $7. The Age of Surveillance Capitalism. I follow a lot of people that deal with cryptocurrency online, and a lot of them were talking about this book a year ago. So after going back and forth with some folks to see if it was worth it, I decided to, now that I've seen it, paperback, the secondhand store, and decided to buy it. So I will read that at some point. It's not really in the near future, but soon, eventually. All right, the cool book, because I always want to talk about one kind of cool book. Here's the cool book. It is the Smithsonian's History of America and 101 Objects. This book was written by Richard Curran, who serves as the Smithsonian Institution's Undersecretary for History, Art, and Culture. He's got a PhD. Why is this cool? This is cool because I helped edit it. I edited and reviewed a third of this book. I was working with somebody from my old job, and I also reached out to somebody I went to grad school with, and the three of us each of us reviewed a third of this book. It's cool because it doesn't just talk about things that you kind of associate with America, but also kind of one-offs, kind of oddball associations, like Kermit the Frog. Or let's open up a random one. Let's see here. Neil Armstrong's spacesuit. You could probably associate that with the United States pretty easily. Something with Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan poster by Milton Glaser. So there's just a lot of that. I have a piece of paper in here that says which ones I did, so I wouldn't forget. Richard Curran, nice guy. He signed it for each of us, and it was just cool. Our names in it under the acknowledgments. So our names in the Smithsonian book, which is, I mean, I think a lot of people probably know what Smithsonian is, but it's really one of the leading museums and research institutions in the world. So it's a big deal in the United States, and I think it's probably a pretty big deal other places as far as museums go. So love the Smithsonian. Was really excited to be a part of that. It's not that it's not that expensive anymore. There's paperback versions of it. This was probably $50 at the time, but it also ended up on one of those kind of cheap bins, which I should have grabbed more because I gave them to some of my friends. But check it out. It's cool. All right, last thing. My daughter has been talking about poop a lot, and I was a boy at one point. I'm still a male. Now I'm a man. But I grew up, when I was younger, I considered myself a boy, and when I was a baby, I considered myself a baby. I was very self-aware as a baby. But I know that when I was a little kid, we talked about inappropriate stuff. I am pretty sure we did the fart thing like that. I mean, the things we watched, and just like little boy stuff. That's just, boys still do that, right? Like they're still playing with frogs and squishing things, and hopefully not squishing frogs. But I know we talked about poop and pee and stuff, I think. Anyway, we're raising a 2 or 3-year-old daughter, and in the last few weeks she started talking about poop. I don't know why. And we were a little concerned that it was something that she was fixated on. Well, I kind of know why. Okay, so she just recently was potty trained in the last few months. I don't know, maybe longer. I have no sense of time during the pandemic, but she kind of trained herself. Just one day she was like, all right, I'm done peeing in my diaper. I'm going to start using underwear. So every so often she started wearing underwear, and sometimes I thought I could smell something. So I was like, did a little pat. It's like the little butt pat thing in your parent to see if there's poop in there, or pee, but poop especially. And I would say, did you poop? And she said, no. But I think she took from that to ask me if I was pooping too. I was, but not in my pants. I promise you that. So she would say stuff like, did you poop on your head? Did you poop on your hair? Did you poop on your eyes? Did you poop on a pee? Stuff like that. Like, doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but we found out that her friend's doing it too. So it may just be kids doing that at this age of 3. It may be like a poop thing going around the school. I don't know. I don't think we talk a lot about poop at home. I do know that, well, my mom thinks that the boys must have taught her that, but it sounds like if she and her best friend are talking about poop, maybe they're leading the way. I don't know, because that's a strong independent move, is talking about poop on your own, not waiting for the boys to bring it up, because everyone poops. Everyone poops. I think most animals, almost all animals poop. I don't know if what birds do is considered poop. Some of them do. I know they don't pee. It's urea. So here is, or something like that. This is what we got her. This is the poop party. This was actually, my best friend sent me a screenshot of one of my early videos, and this was the ad above the screenshot for poop party. And it may have been because I had talked about what is poop. This is just, it talks about this kid who was allowed to come up with his own birthday idea, and he decided to make it a poop themed birthday, and they had poop treats, and they had poop games, and they dressed up like poop. And I just want you to know, I do call it shit. Like, I'm calling it poop because it seems like I'm talking to little kids, but I would call it shit other times. So there's the poop costumes. Cool. Look, the dogs are wearing poop. That's not the dogs. Here are the dogs. They're wearing poop hats. This is actually pretty developed costumes. So we bought that. Hopefully, I don't know, if we flood her images with positive poop images, she'll stop talking about them. I don't know. But that's what we got. We got poop party at the nicest Target I've ever seen in my entire life. It's really close to us. It's just huge and amazing. They almost have like a little princess area for all the little kids. Like Disney pumps all the really identifiable music that is from different movies recently, and kids come running. It's like they'll play stuff from Frozen, and then kids that are in earshot within a few aisles over come running to the Disney section, and then they just start seeing things, and they're like, "I want that, I want that, I want that," and the parents are like, "Oh, okay, I might do that." So, that's what that Target does. You have to buy princess stuff if you have a little girl and she wants princess stuff. They don't let you out of there without doing that. So, thank you for joining me tonight, or at least what is nighttime for me. I finished this 30 minutes ago, or I started this 30 minutes ago without really starting it. So hopefully I actually recorded it this time. I have 28 subscribers, at least when I started this video. So if you are a subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing. Let me know if you want me to talk about anything or not talk about anything. If you like the way it's set up, I'm trying to talk about books that I'm reading, will read, special books that are behind my giant head, my special, very important books area. I have trouble figuring out which way to turn with the camera. Those are my special books right behind my back. And then I try to cover, because I'm a dad, I'm 37, a dude, and there are a lot of 20-year-old females who are different phases of their lives. I'm 37, I'm a guy, I'm married, I have a kid. So I try to talk about little kid stuff too. Just to prepare, just so if you are at some point going to be a parent, realize that not only do you get to buy books for yourself still, but you also get to buy books for your kids and raise little readers and little poop party fans, and just keep living the dream. So thanks for joining me, and I hope you'll come back. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I'm now learning how to figure out. I've learned how to add the subscribe button to the end of my videos, which is cool because I think it's probably a very basic thing, but I just figured out how to do it. And I hope you enjoyed my little video with the banjo music. It's called The Colonel. I wanted something that had banjo in it. I really like it because it's only 31 seconds long, and if you just click on it, I get a view pretty quickly, which is cool because I don't have very many views on all the other videos. But thanks again for joining me, and I hope you will interact. This is really, I want to interact because it's pandemic time, and how much interaction are we getting outside of some of these outlets? So please write to me in the comments area. Let me know what you like, what you don't like, if there's things that are annoying you, if you want to see me talk about certain books, if you recommend certain books, if you think I'm totally off basis on some of these recommendations, or some of the feedback that I've given about things I've read or different areas I'm interested in. I'm open to all that. I know this is a rough channel and it hasn't been especially edited well. And I know I wear glasses and I look pretty disheveled because this is 9 p.m. and I have a kid and I work all day, and I want to look more presentable before I do this, but I just only have so much time to do that, so I don't get all dolled up. But thanks for joining me again, and I will see you next time.